Welcome to Imagine Wealth Without Risk, the podcast that guides you to fulfilling your dreams through guaranteed, secure investing. Here's your host, Ted Thomas.
Welcome, everyone. This is Ted Thomas, and this podcast is all about wealth without risk, and really imagine wealth without risk. I'm going to give you some ways to do that today that you're really going to enjoy. And my special guest is going to be a gentleman who I've known for a number of years, and wait till you hear some of the things he's going to tell you, because he's really going to surprise you. But the wealth without risk angle to my life has always been buy tax lien certificates where you could have a safe, secure investment. Then I grew that into buying tax defaulted properties where we could get properties for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. But I really want you to learn about creating wealth in many different ways. And so my guest today is Roger Salam. And Roger and I go back, I'm going to say 10 years, but I'm always making a mistake on that. So if he says it's more than that, he's probably more right than I am, because I'm getting a little older now, and I don't want to admit that I've known the people for 20 and 30 years. So anyway, well, Roger, welcome to the call. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, Ted. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. And where are you today?
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay. I never know where you're going to be. You might be calling me from Bangkok or Bangladesh. I never know.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be in both places end of the month.
Oh my goodness, well, good for you. So you're a traveling guy. I remember the last time I saw you at the airport, you had two bags, one for overnight and one to carry all your paraphernalia. So that's right.
Yes.
Tell my audience a little bit about you, Roger. We'll get right into the nitty gritties, but tell people who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Ted. This is Roger Salam, and thank you for the privilege. And I'll tell you what I do now, and then I'll tell you about my background. Right now, what I do is I organize and run world-class mastermind events for entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and influencers, both on land and at sea, in destinations across the globe that amplify, accelerate, and maximize business and life.
Wow. Oh, it says at sea. I never heard of anybody doing a mastermind at sea.
I've been doing that. This is my 11th year, Ted.
Wow.
I influence the influencers and thought leaders like yourself and gather, it's a strict limit of 100. And when I do these other destination masterminds, land-based, they're typically about 15 people on average. But when I go on once a year, I do this mastermind at sea where I take 100 thought leaders. And this year is my 11th year. It's every year, the second week in December, and it's by invitation only thought leader event. And that's where you talk about wealth creation and different ways to create wealth. That's where it's so exciting. And by the way, your listeners, and I've known you since 2007. Was the first event that I met you.
I'm always making a mistake on those dates, aren't I?
Yeah.
That's good.
Our mutual friend Russ Whitney, and as a matter of fact, I saw you. 2007 is when we met as peers, but prior to that, in early 2000, I heard you speak at Russ Whitney's conference, and that's where I bought your program.
Oh my goodness! Oh, we go back that far. I think we were using audio tapes. There were no DVDs, right?
It was cassettes.
Oh, cassettes! Oh my God! I hope you saved them, because we can probably sell them on eBay. They're probably worth something now, because they're antiques. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. Yeah.
Smithsonian might have a copy of that.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Oh, listen, that guy, Russ Whitney, I couldn't brag more about that guy. I'm not going to tell you about one thing, but over a number of years' time, that guy paid me $2 million.
Absolutely. And
to work on his program. And what an honor it was. There was sometime 1,500, you remember, 1,500, 2,000 people in the room. It was amazing.
I was one of those 2,000 sat there, and I could not believe when you're talking about, and I'm just a newbie in real estate. Oh. And you're saying that all these other people speaking about real estate, these are all your friends. And then Thurston, remember Thurston?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course, and then all these people.
So he was a president in the Mormon Church.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
And I just met his son over here, Thurston Jr., and he's in the blockchain, very interesting guy. Then you came along when you spoke, and you said, you're going to talk about a program that is guaranteed by the U.S. government. And by the way, that's when I also you talk wealth without risk is your friend Chuck Givens. He wrote the book on wealth without risk.
Yeah,
and my mentor, Tony Robbins, interviewed him. That's how I found out about him. And then you're the first one, I said, a program backed by the US government. And the worst thing that can happen is you get this much interest on your money.
Yeah.
And I said, I gotta buy this program.
Right.
You had an army of people from this 2000 rushing to the back of the room. I was trying to give you my credit card. I had to fight to give you money.
Yeah, those are good times. But tell us about that. This audience is going to know about me a lot, but let's talk about you, because you're pretty darn interesting yourself. So tell people about yourself a little bit more, and a little bit more about, I realized that you do a mastermind on land too, but a lot of people do a mastermind on land, but doing one at sea, I think that's unique. And let me tell you why, because anybody that's belonged to a mastermind knows when the 2 days or 3 days you get together, you hate it when it ends because you don't know if you're going to get the person on the phone and be able to continue, because we all get so busy. But I bet they have a lot of dinners together, and maybe even a glass of wine or two together in the lounge during the off time. So what's it like at a mastermind at sea?
So yes, so that your people know who I am just a little bit. They said I literally I got into the personal development growth business with my mentor Tony Robbins back in the 90s, and I used to be his #1 speaker trainer for Tony Robbins. And I literally retired at the ripe old age of 29 in Florida. That's how I got to Tampa, because that was my last city. And I accidentally got onto the internet field in late 97, long before people knew how to spell email. And right there, I saw the internet as the next absolute frontier. I jumped with both feet and took a company from nothing to 2 billion in market cap.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that's where I've made my first wealth. Yeah. But I thought I was set for life because I had so much stock. But I'm also one of those people that I am loyal to a fault. The stock was at $50. I wanted to take the stock to 100. And unfortunately, remember when the internet bubble bursted in 99.
Oh, that was terrible.
And I lost everything.
Oh.
I lost everything. When the stock market crashed, I joke when I speak, I said, when the stock market crashed, I slept like a baby. Woke up every hour and cried.
Oh, that's not funny. That's not funny. Oh, I woke up and cried. Yeah.
I literally, this is how I got into your world of real estate, that late night, I can't fall asleep because I'm thinking that, God, just give me the rope and get it over with, because I've fallen it's not a gap, it's an abyss. And here I'm flipping through channel late night just to keep my mind occupied. Right. And here comes a late night snake oil salesman on infomercial back then. And guess who that was? And that was Russ Whitney. His infomercial came on and he said, you can make money in real estate with no money, no credit. I said, I qualify.
You qualify. Okay, good. I got it.
And then he said, I'm doing a free seminar. I said, I can afford it.
Okay, good. All right, good.
But what I didn't know is it was free to get in, not free to get out.
Yeah. You actually have a credit card. They took that.
Exactly. $30,000 later.
Oh my goodness, 30,000.
Because I knew, here's another lesson, guys, if you're listening, that yes, I was broke at that moment, but I realized the reason it cost $30,000 and not $300 is because, what's his name that was doing the infomercials? Anyway, so he was selling, the reason it's $30,000, not 300, because I knew the biggest difference in your life will come not from information, but having a mentor.
Oh, did you get Russ Whitney as your mentor? Wow.
I bought the mentoring program because I realized if I'm going to learn real estate, like I had, the reason I did well, because I had Tony Robbins as my mentor. So I said, no, even if I cannot afford it, it was my last credit card, and I put it on the line, and I got the mentoring. And that's why, fast forwarded, from there on, I had no money. And in 5 years, me and my partner owned over 500 houses in the 5 Tampa Bay counties.
Oh, man.
and just took off from there with real estate. And that's when from Russ Whitney, and that's how I met you. And then 2007, I created my mastermind, Land. And that's the best, anything good and great that has happened to my life is not an indirect, but a direct result of mastermind. And you ask now the difference between the Land mastermind and the mastermind at sea. The reason I love it is because this is typically the masterminds were 2-day format. Now this mastermind at sea is 7 days.
Wow.
This is half vacation by design and half we do the session. So basically, when we're at sea equals sessions. When we're at port equals party. Oh. The overall goal for me, for my attendees, is don't come to this mastermind at sea for one reason and one reason only, is to build quality relationships.
Exactly.
And I have seen, Ted, deals that never happened at land, but happens at sea. It has got to do with the mixture of the pina colada and the waves.
Yeah, that's a good point, because sometimes it takes a little while to not only make the point, but it takes a little while for people to get a feel for each other. They certainly could do that if they could have a class together and then maybe dinner together, and who knows, maybe the next day another class and whatever. I mean, so
that's the whole thing.
I like what you're saying.
Absolutely. The whole thing is that at this point is when they come, they basically, the reason the deal happens is because they let their hair down. And they have nowhere else to go. You know exactly how far they can go.
The other end of the boat. Yeah.
Yep. So and I share with everyone, I said that, listen, I've done it over a decade. The less you talk about business, the more business you do. The less you sell, the more you sell. It's because this is an opportunity for people to get to know the authentic you. When they like you and you being yourself, and the business is just a natural progression to that. Because you have, and you said, great, you have a guaranteed program, Wealth Without Risk. And why wouldn't I talk to you and put my money into this program? Because I'm getting returns that I would not get at a bank or anywhere else, and it's guaranteed. And truly, it's not guaranteed by you, and it's guaranteed by the U.S. government. Yeah. So that's all, and you don't have to sell it. It's just a conversation. And every 7 days we have dinner together every night. Then we're going to swim with the dolphins together. The more you play, and of course, then here's the truth, Ted, is that when you have A-type personality, these people, you put them together, good things will happen. They don't need me. But what I do is I have created processes and systems and created boundaries. When you do that, then non-good things, great things happen, breakthroughs happen because of those processes. And it ensures that joint ventures are facilitated. That's why it's a facilitation process. And over the years, I've created, tweaked to now that before they even come on the boat, I already know who they are, and I'm connecting with them, people on land, and they're getting their money's worth even before they sign up early enough. And we're having events that are now sold out months in advance because I'm only looking for 100. And this is the only event that I not only allow, but encourage people to bring their significant other, spouse, because it's a relationship business. And then when they see their partners, and now people get to, you bring your spouse or significant girlfriend, boyfriend, and now they're having dinner with them, and they get to know at a much deeper level, and the conversation is fun.
Yep, absolutely.
That's why.
Absolutely. I met a guy I work with today, literally today, I'm going to be talking to in this afternoon, that I met on one of your masterminds. Absolutely. So I notice a lot of people actually have copycatted you, but nobody has been able to do the mastermind at sea. I just think that's a whole marvel in itself. Is it complicated for someone to do something like that?
No, one of the reasons, because look, when I go land destination mastermind, like I went to Italy, New Zealand, China, Bangladesh, but those are moving parts. But when I go on a cruise, it's a very controlled environment. Yeah. I don't have to worry about the meals. I don't have to worry about the entertainment. Everything is taken care of. All you're doing, and you've created the fun environment over there. Yeah. And on the mastermind over here. Yeah. And I just announced right now. So I'm what they call a lifestyle entrepreneur right now.
Yeah.
It's for the next 5 years. As the Americans, half of them don't even have passports. But it's not that they don't want to travel. They're looking for an excuse. They want somebody to hold their hands. And if they could go and travel and make money instead of costing money, then that's the best combination. Every year from now on, I said, I'll take you to 5 continents in the next 5 years on Mastermind at Sea. So we're going on a cruise to Alaska next year. The following year, we're going to cruise to the Mediterranean. The following year, we're going to cruise to New Zealand and Australia. The following year, we're going on a cruise to Singapore and China. And the 5th year, we're going on a cruise to Argentina and Galapagos.
Wow.
So already, and now I have people that have bought into the membership that, hey, they want to go for the next 5 years, because why wouldn't you? If I say that, hey, if you give me dollars and I'll give you $20 back, when do you want that transaction to stop? Yeah. So that's, if they like the Mastermind at C1, and now they're saying, oh, wow, I haven't been to these places, and you're going to take me everything's taken. I just show up. All you do is you show up in that particular city of starting point, and everything is taken care of from that moment on.
Nice.
So
let me switch gears. Right
Yeah.
here. That's great. Hey, I'm your big advocate. You know that, so you can always count on me to help you promote it if you want to. And but let me ask you. You're really the international man, and you don't ever brag about that. So I want you to talk a little bit about that, because I know you were brought up in a unusual place for Americans to even know where it is. Yeah. But you come from an unusual background. Not that it means it's bad. It's just that it's different than the American way. And because you then came here and went to UCLA and graduated with honors and so on. And so I admire what you've done. But tell people a little bit about your background, because Americans, I'm not negative on them in any way, but they're sometimes a little bit limited, and you don't have limits. You just don't have limits. You could easily be in Italy today, and you could be in Alaska tomorrow, and you could be in Bangladesh the next day. And you are sometimes. I realize that.
I'll be at the end of the month.
So I'm into creating wealth, and I do that with tax liens and deeds. And the only reason I do that business is I was a real estate entrepreneur, and I really got to, like you did, got my teeth kicked in. And I said, I'm not going to be in the risk business. But I love the way that you live, because you do a lot of things that other people don't even dream of. All right, so my career was as a pilot, as you remember. So I got to travel in a lot of places all over the world. But in comparison to you, I'm like a stay-at-home grandfather.
No.
So tell people a little bit about where you came from and how you got this change going on. And I know your family travels too. It seemed to me that, do I remember some of your family were in the diplomatic corps or something?
They were, fortunately, they're all in business. And
oh, okay.
Yeah, my father, as I said, I'm originally from Bangladesh. And I came here to go to school. And you're very true that Americans and geography usually don't go together.
Exactly. They don't even know what Kansas is. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. So, and you're funny you ask. When I first came to UCLA, and they would ask, where are you from? And I'd say, Bangladesh. And then first of all, they'd say, hey, oh, you speak very good English. Where did you learn English? And I just
oh, jeez, oh my God.
Yeah, they go, oh, you're from Bangladesh, but you speak very good English. Where did you learn English? I said, oh, it was a long flight.
Please, come on, get here. Come on, give my people some good information. Stop clowning around. This is only a guy with a long flight. Oh my God.
He goes, where is Bangladesh? I said, oh, a little bit east of South Dakota.
Oh my God.
Because they don't know where South Dakota is. What difference does it make?
They wouldn't know the history of how Bangladesh and Pakistan became countries. They don't even know that. Americans don't even know. The British know.
We were a British colony for 200 years.
Exactly.
So for doing that. So no, how from there, you say that the reason immigrants do well in this country is because of one thing and one thing only. Americans have taken things for granted. They are spoiled. So people who are immigrants, they know what it's like to live in Bangladesh, what it's like to live in India, what it's like to live in Africa. People from all over the world come to this land of opportunity. So when they come, it's a displaced people. Anytime you have displaced people, they come, and whatever little thing they get, they appreciate an opportunity, they maximize. So while Americans, if you don't travel, you've only read one page of the book.
Right.
And when you travel, you're reading the whole book. It makes you worldly. It makes you open your mind. You know how other half of the world live. And Ted, I'll tell you a story. When my first job out of UCLA was in Burbank, and my first manager was Irwin, and he said something I never forgot. And he lived in Santa Barbara, had his brand new red Jag convertible. I remember like yesterday, and I'm so impressed. He would come for the weekdays. He had a little apartment in Burbank. Weekends go back to Santa Barbara. And when he found out that I work there and I'm from Bangladesh, he said, "Hey, come to my office. I have a story for you." He goes, "My son, teenage son, he's got long hair. He's never in his room, is always dark. He had a poster on his door, enter at your own risk. He would never come down to dinner or any kind of family meals. He's spoiled brat. Every time I cannot get his attention." I got so mad one day. I said, "Hey, you know what? This summer, I'm going to go send you away for this summer." And my son looked at me. He goes, "Further away from you, the better." So I'm just telling you so to give you a background of this is the kid.
Yeah.
And he sent his son to Bangladesh for the summer.
Oh my God.
And it's into the Peace Corps jobs.
Oh yeah.
And Peace Corps, so he goes, Irwin said, "Look, now, this is the greatest gift Bangladesh has given to me. My teenage son, when he came back, of course, he flew into LAX, and then he took a puddle jumper to Santa Barbara. I went to pick him up. Santa Barbara airport was it's still tiny, but back in the days, it was so tiny. You literally walk to the runway to pick up your luggage and bring." And he said, he came down the stairs of the plane, and he saw me. Normally, before he left, if he saw me, he would go the other way. This kid started walking faster. Then he started running, and with his bag. And he dropped his bag. When he came to me, he jumped like a little kid. He gave me a bear hug, and I will never, ever forget what he said to me. He grabbed me, gave me a bear hug, and he whispered into my ear. He said, "Dad, I will never complain again."
Ooh.
He was a spoiled brat, Santa Barbara, rich kid. Every Christmas gets every toy that he plays with for 1 hour, then he throws the toys away. And now he went and saw how the other half lived.
Wow, what a transformation, huh?
And so it says, I am so grateful that Bangladesh gave my son back. It's the best thing I have ever done for my son.
So tell my audience, give us a few minutes about Bangladesh. We know that people are great. Tell Bangladesh, how tough it is to grow up in Bangladesh.
Exactly. In 1971, there was a civil war. Bangladesh was formerly East Pakistan.
Yeah.
And in 1947, most people in America may have seen the movie Gandhi.
Yeah.
And in the movie Gandhi, and he was trying to keep the whole subcontinent together as one country. But that's when India became two countries, Pakistan and India. And West Pakistan and East Pakistan were two halves of the same country, like North Korea, South Korea, East Germany, West Germany back then. But here, nowhere in the world where they're East and West, there was 1,200 miles in between.
And that was all India.
And all India, sort of an enemy territory in between. And the British knew when they did it that this probably won't last 25 years because they're divide and conquer. And now, between West Pakistan and East Pakistan, we didn't have anything in common other than religion, because that's how they divided India and Pakistan. There's this huge piece of land, and they said, if you're going to have two countries, how are you going to decide how are you going to divide the territories? That we're going to have referendum in each of the provinces, and they decide whether they want to be part of India or part of Pakistan. So there was, wherever there was Muslim majority, that was on one side became East Pakistan, another was West Pakistan, in the middle was this thing. So now West Pakistan was trying to subjugate East Pakistan. So as if we got rid of the British, now we got another overlord. And
jeez. Oh boy.
Exactly. So it's like for 200 years, the British were the overlord, and now West Pakistan, and they were pilfering everything. But finally, what was the straw that broke the camel's back is in West Pakistan, Urdu is the language. In Bangladesh, Bengali is the language. And they said, you know what? You cannot speak Bengali anymore. English and Urdu, and only Urdu shall be the national language of Pakistan. It's like they're telling you not to speak English, and you have to speak Spanish from now on.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the revolution. It's known as the language revolution in February 21st.
Interesting.
It's because of Bangladesh. United Nations all over the world on February 21st is known as the language day, as your mother tongue, because this whole country became a country, and at the fastest time, civil war, in 9 months, we took our freedom back and with the help of India, and East Pakistan became Bangladesh, and they surrendered, and they basically 2 million people they killed in that civil war.
Oh, so it was a big war, real. Oh my goodness.
Yes, and they were subjugating and atrocities, genocide, and the whole world was up in arms. That's where the only thing the Americans knew when I came to America, they knew George Harrison's Bangladesh. George Harrison.
Oh my God, that was it.
That was it. That's the whole thing. They're like, oh my God, you're from Bangladesh. Let me give you my change. Here is, you must be really poor.
Yeah.
And
but now it's not a rich country, but it's still third world, isn't it? Or is it?
It is third world.
Yeah.
There's so much also because of the political instability, but there's people making money at the top level. Opportunities are there because just imagine Bangladesh is size-wise a little bigger than Wisconsin. But if you don't know how big Wisconsin is, most people know California.
Yeah.
It's about 1/3 the size of California. And California is the most populous state in the nation. Right. Do you know the population of California?
I think they've counted 35, but there's probably another 5 they haven't counted.
Yeah, so probably say 40 million.
Yeah.
So Bangladesh is 1/3 the size of California. And what is the population of Bangladesh?
I have no idea.
160 million.
Wow. 160 million.
So imagine just in Southern California, 405 is bad enough already.
You have to walk. You can't drive. You have to walk. Oh my God, I love it.
You had Southern California.
All right, so give us 1 minute because I'm going to run out of time. Give us 1 minute because you're the international man. And thanks for teaching us about that because I know this about making money and all that, but people like to learn these new things and they'll have a whole new respect for Bangladesh and the English language and Bengali, right? Is that what they talk
Bengali.
Here? Bengali. Whereas Urdu is like isn't that the same as in Iran? Or
no,
Iran?
Urdu is actually, it's a very much like Hindi.
Oh, it's
Hindi is the language of India.
Okay.
And India, the people can speak Hindi and Urdu and they could understand each other.
Oh, okay.
Very similar.
Good. So you left there, and how did you ever get into a school in Los Angeles, California? How did you do that?
And I knew that when I was in high school, I was going to go for higher education in the U.S. I applied. I went to the American Cultural Center in Bangladesh. The embassy was there. And then applied to about, I think, 20 or 30 colleges over here. And UCLA, I was accepted in many colleges, but my older brother went to UCLA. So when I got accepted at UCLA, he said, hey, go to UCLA. And my neighbor, Bangladesh, across the street was Mr. and Mrs. Stewart. And he was the vice president of Union Oil Company and was my father's friend. And his kids went to UCLA. So when my father asked him that, hey, where should I send my son? And he said, hey, my kids go to UCLA. And of course, my father was biased at that point and said, then my son will go to UCLA too.
Nice.
Of all the ones that I got accepted, I'm glad that I chose UCLA. But really, My UCLA degree and 25 cents ought to get me a cup of coffee.
Yeah, you put it to work. You're one of the workers. Roger, I want you to make me a promise. I want you to make me a promise, okay? The promise is that you'll come back in a few weeks and we learn more about you. Is that
Absolutely.
a promise?
It'd be my pleasure.
Okay. Now we want you back, but I want you to close by telling people how they would find out about your mastermind at sea or anything else you want them to find out about. And just give a quick address so we record it and people know about it. Cause I'll get all kinds of calls and emails and say, why did you tell us how to get a hold of Roger? They want to get a hold of you. Okay.
The easiest way is go to mastermindatsea.com. Mastermindatsea.com. That's the easiest way. And you'll find out about the next mastermind.
We both said when we start, 30 minutes goes too fast, but you know how this is. We're always limited. But you made a promise now, so you can't get away. I've got you on tape that you're going to come back and we're going to talk more a little bit about Bangladesh. But you know what I want to know more about on the next one is let's talk more about creating wealth, because you've come up with a lot of different ways of doing things and you've done a lot of things. You made some great successes, as I guess all of us entrepreneurs, that not all of us, because some of us didn't get to bankruptcy, but I sure did. I remember that back in 1986. I'll never forget it. That was quite a lesson. But you've had these same kind of trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
And so we need to convey some of that to some of our clients, because all of our people are creating wealth, but we might teach them to keep right on creating wealth, but be a little bit on the conservative side. But before I close, I want you to thank you again, and I want you to give us some addressing so they can get a hold of you.
Absolutely. So that you can go to, as I said, mastermindatsea.com or rogersalam.com. Salam is spelled S as in Sam, A-L-A-M as in Mary. rogersalam.com. And my email is roger@rogersalam. If I can help you in any way, please feel free to email me and I'll be happy to answer.
You're such a special person, really special. And your English really is good, Roger. I'll never get over that, the long flight. That was the best one.
Hi listeners, I would love to know what you guys think of today's episode on Imagine Wealth Without Risk, so make sure you guys leave a rating and a review.